Block.
Lead block.
There we go. Now let's start the hour off with none other than Jameis Winston. He's down in Miami this week, putting in work on a high school football field with some Saints receivers. And just in case you forgot, there he is right there throwing the ball way down the field, something that the Saints did not do very often last year in New Orleans. Now, Saints wide receiver Traquan Smith said he likes what he's seen from Jameis so far this offseason. He told the Palm Beach Post, "They're going to see great chemistry between us, besides good offense. Jameis likes to work with everybody. I'm pretty sure he reached out to everybody. You're going to see a high-powered offense." Now, high-powered offense, we were pretty used to that in New Orleans with Drew Brees under center, but he has retired. The Hall of Famer, no longer the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Now all eyes are on Jameis Winston. But the big question is this Saints offense going to be more explosive with him as the starting quarterback? Mike, what do you think about Jameis?
Listen, yeah, it's a complicated answer, right? And there's going to be analytics involved because what coaches like to consider an explosive passer is someone with a high yards per attempt figure. And Jameis Winston in his last season as a starter, it was 8.2 yards per attempt, the same number that Drew Brees posted in 2018 and the number that he'd kind of been around for a good block of years. But then if you go to Pro Football Focus, go check it out. There's a number called adjusted yards per attempt where you really get penalized for interceptions and rewarded a little bit less for touchdowns. Well, Drew Brees' yards per attempt number goes up when you use that metric. Jameis Winston goes down from 8.2 to 7.1. So you take away the interceptions, it's as explosive, if not more, with Jameis Winston than it's been for Drew Brees down the home stretch of his career. Let's face it, that arm strength isn't what it was. He really couldn't push the ball the way he used to. In fact, he had an interception against the Vikings in the postseason a couple years ago. I remember Troy Aikman talking about how, he just can't push that ball down the field like he used to. So Jameis Winston can do that, but the mistakes are going to be there as well. So, he giveth and he taketh away, Jameis, as far as explosivity in the offense.
Yeah, Mike, you must have saw my notes last night. Huh? You were peeking over, checking to see what I was writing down. Look, at the end of the day, physically, yes, he'll be more explosive. And you're exactly right. Jameis Winston has a more live arm. He has a lively arm. But like you said, you can't have 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. You can't make the 30-30 club. And I know Sean Payton is going to be excited about having a live arm again and being able to push the ball down the field. We saw in one of the playoff games this year, they did the double reverse pass to Jameis Winston, and he throws it down the field 30, 40 yards with ease, and everyone's celebrating. That was kind of the only touchdown that the Saints scored. So for me, this is what it comes down to. Can you limit or can you put a leash on Jameis Winston to allow him to take 5 or 6 shots a game, but those shots have to come off a heavy play action pass. It has to be a 1 or 2 person read. It can't be you scanning the field and there's a post down there because he's going to take the post. That's how he plays. He's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the ball all around the yard. You have to make sure that you keep him in a little bit of a bubble to protect him from himself.
I agree. And I just think I love the use of the word explosive here because that's such a perfect word, literally, for Jameis. I mean, it's something that explodes. It's not exactly accurate. It's not always effective. And sometimes it affects the person who set it off. I mean, especially this week, it's 4th of July. There's a dark side to the explosive factor. And a lot of times Jameis, his explosiveness burns him and his team. I've come to the number 16. If Jameis Winston starts the entire year for the Saints, he gets 16 interceptions, and I think he can have a shot maybe to win the South or maybe get in as a wild card. Any more than that, I don't know. It's just too much, guys. I can't have unbridled faith in Jameis as this winner. I just seen too much of what we're talking about. So I like the Drew Brees thing is like, yes, he can drive the car faster than Drew Brees, but he's also more likely to run into a phone pole than Drew Brees. And I wonder this, here's a wrinkle. What is the Sean Payton plan exactly? So Jameis comes out and let's say in week 1, he throws 2 picks in the first half and the Saints are down 17-10. Does he pull them? Is Taysom go in? Is Jameis done or is he the guy? Because it's not going to be like Tampa where Bruce Arians was saying, screw it, he's our guy. I'm going to be patient with Jameis and you go all the way to 30 picks. That guy's not putting up with that. I don't think he is. I don't think his offense works that way. I don't think he's used to coaching that way. If Jameis starts doing the bad Jameis thing, Peyton might just pull him, and maybe it's just for a game. Maybe it's just for a series. But I think he's got a lot of love for Taysom Hill, a lot of creative things to do with him. And I don't think he's sitting here standing by watching Jameis throw 20, 25, 30 interceptions. I think by the time he gets there, he'll be out.
But the thing is, Kyle, Jameis is not going to do that because he just spent a year learning from the Hall of Famer Drew Brees and watching how he ran that offense. And he also just spent time learning the Sean Payton way as well in New Orleans. Let's stick with that 17-10 situation that you were just referencing. That actually happened. Okay, Drew Brees, week 10, went out against the San Francisco 49ers. The score was 17-10. The Saints were up by a touchdown. Jameis Winston went in the second half, and he managed the game perfectly. They still won the game. Now, the stat line wasn't crazy astounding. He was 6 for 10, 63 yards, but he did leave 2 scoring drives, didn't take into any crazy risk. And most importantly, the thing that everyone's concerned about, he didn't turn the ball over. Remember, he had turned the ball over 11 straight games to end his tenure with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not doing that so much in New Orleans. I think he's a much more mature player. He wants to be in New Orleans. He wants to play well. And I don't think we're going to get that 30 for 30 interceptions and touchdowns that we saw when he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, New Orleans Saints, they won the division last season, but Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're now the front runner. So will the Saints challenge the Bucs in the NFC South this upcoming season? Mike, yes, no, maybe so?
I'll make this quick because it's less. This is not a knock on the Saints. This is more of what I'm expecting from the Bucs. I referenced this earlier in the show. I think they're going to come out of the gate playing well, and I think they want to win as many games as humanly possible. And it's like, hey, we won the title last year. Let's do it in even better fashion this year. I can't find the wins for Jameis Winston and the Saints to challenge the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Jameis in this system. I know he went in against the Niners and all that, but let's also remember Sean Payton opted to go with Taysom Hill for that 5-game stretch over Jameis Winston. So for me, the Bucs right now, the Bucs are the favorite to do everything because they brought everyone back and they have Tom Brady.
Look, Jameis is really fun to watch. There's a lot of people who've been burned in a lot of ways by counting on him and piping him and saying it's going to be okay. I'm talking in the football sense. I'm talking in the non-football sense. We have 5 years of him in Tampa. It was never okay. We got a lot of stuff before that in Tallahassee that wasn't okay. And there's a lot of players in this league that I'd love to support and get all excited about. Jameis Winston's burned me before, and I'm not the only one. I don't think they can do it.
But guys, okay, me being positive again. You can't say that they're not going to potentially threaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they did beat them twice last season. Yes, they had Drew Brees, but not everything falls on Drew Brees. If you take Drew Brees out of this equation and all the pressure is just on Jameis Winston, that's a huge discredit to the other guys on that team. Guys like Alvin Kamara, guys like Michael Thomas, Cam Jordan, all the other players who have helped contributed to the New Orleans Saints getting the team to the playoffs in the last 4 seasons. Put some respect on New Orleans, put some respect on Jameis Winston. Let's at least give him an opportunity to prove himself before we discredit what he's worked so hard for and what he's learned behind Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and his time sitting on the bench for the New Orleans Saints. Positivity, it's me. We're going to rock with it. That was the Saints chatter, but we've seen a different side of Tom Brady. Speaking of this